What?
I know.
What?
I know.
Let's roll one up and take a hit. Gateway drug to mindfulness. Let's roll one up and take a hit. Gateway drug. Cause I can see your energy. And I'm waiting on your frequency to rise. Disciplined stoners. What's your discipline? You a stoner? That's cool. So are we.
I'm high a lot. It's weird to finally say that with pride. I'm high a lot. Being high has helped me with my anxiety. It's helped my social skills.
Love and light. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners Podcast with your host Ellevan,
And my name is Winnie.
and we are the gateway drug to mindfulness.
And welcome back to another episode of Disciplined Stoners. I'm your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie.
and we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. And today, we just plan to smoke some weed with you. And that's nice, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Is this the one we were gifted?
What?
Did you put dab all over this?
I did. We got a dablicator from our homie with Fuego.
Yes, Shandy. Thank
Shandy.
you.
And we love that dablicator.
Thanks for our little care package. That was so nice this weekend.
It's so awesome. And we've been smoking on this awesome like blue ice. His new drop that isn't out yet. From Fuego. It tastes real good. Nice vape. I'm puffing on some duct tape here because we love that.
We love it. And I think this is a ghost train haze,
Yeah, I think it's a ghost train.
which
haze.
I better be careful with because that tends to
Is
make
that
me go, ooh.
Oh, really?
Well, in like, it is a sativa hybrid, I believe, or even like a sativa.
But hazes make chill vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a little trippy-dippy on a haze.
Exactly.
Got a half O right there. Guys, how are you?
How are ya?
Winnie, how are you? They can't answer.
Well, I got a yeast infection because
Oh.
you pummeled me so hard
Oh
last
my
night.
God. Holy shit. We're going to start right off the top with some realness, some rawness. I'm very good. I love that. It's beautiful. Sorry about that, but also you're welcome.
So, but other than that, I'm doing really great. Thanks, Ellevan. How are you?
I'm good. I don't have a yeast infection, but I feel great because I pummeled you last night.
You probably do have a yeast infection. That's the thing is like once I get it, I think you automatically get it. You just don't show any symptoms. That was a joke. No, it was a joke that I started with when I first started stand-up last year. Was something about me getting yeast infections all the time and how men show no signs. If you have a penis, you don't have any signs of a yeast infection. If you have a vagina, you think that it's something much, much worse than a yeast infection. If you've never had one before, I definitely was like fearing the worst when I first got my first yeast infection. There was white stuff coming out of my vag. It was sore and itchy, and like you're like, holy fuck, my life is over. Like when you first get a yeast infection.
What did you think it was? Like a venereal disease?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think caused the first one?
Like what caused them all? Like excess of moisture down there, sugar, and I guess fucking.
Like sex. Shit. Crazy. What a wild thing to have to manage.
You're like, I was starting to love this conversation, and then it took a dark turn.
sex before me. I hate you. Yeah, I know. That's interesting. Crazy. I mean, I still love it. I'm still responsible for this one in one way or another, and that feels good. Feels like a real win. This combo feels like a real win already because honesty.
Yeah, I got a trick. So I get yeast infections kind of often.
Fairly frequently, if you will.
And my friend Lisa, shout out Lisa.
Lisa Fala, yes?
I told her about these said yeast infections, and she was like, oh, you need to try boric acid. It is a something. I can go get it because I don't really know what it does.
Share with the people. I love normalizing talking about this vagina health.
Yeah, and she is a health practitioner, so I didn't just and a very dear friend of mine, so I didn't do very much of my own research. I just did, this was a trust buy for sure, so I don't actually know what technically boric acid
Does
is.
you trust you, Lisa?
You put it up your vagina.
You put it up inside your vag.
And it has been life-changing, everybody.
Really, eh?
I used to be a Canestin whore.
I used to go to the store, get that Canestin, and have the texter every time. Is it the pill or the cream? And which one do you want?
I did
the
a
name brand one or the nut? Is there a difference?
Mix match of both. No, there isn't a difference. It's the same product.
It's the exact same product. I looked that up.
Yeah, fluzonate or something, fluconazonate. And that's supposed to cure yeast infections, and maybe it does for a little while. But if you get chronic ones like I used to, boric acid, look into it. I don't think your doctor will tell you about it. So if you're curious about it, contact me, and I will tell you where I got it from.
It's holistic type stuff.
Because
it's not pharma friendly.
I've cut my yeast infections down in so many, more than half.
Wow,
way
that's
more than
dope.
half.
Yeah, more pummeling for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then we can do all of the hard sex stuff that we want.
Yeah. I was in there last night. But that's nice. This is something we've actually been meaning to normalize.
Sex?
Yeah. Try to have conversations about it. We got to have our friend on.
Did we ever,
Carlin?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Psychologist and sex therapist. Yeah, I believe I might be getting that wrong.
Yeah.
Something
awesome content creator.
Yeah. We'll definitely have her on the
yeah.
podcast because she'll be such a wealth of knowledge.
And she'd be like, we'll play a fun game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so we can start getting more comfortable because we know that you want to hear about our sex life.
or just discuss the same way we discuss life in mindfulness through the lens of awareness. We should really cover everything. We've even touched on money this past year.
Yeah.
We talked on personal relationships before that. I mean, we'll go anywhere with this. We talk to Canada. We talk about business about it. We talk about everything. So why not sex? It's an important part of life.
I agree. Also, can I tell my magical story
today?
today?
Please bless us with your magical story while I smoke these two joints at the same time.
Okay, so I was out today going to do a photo shoot tomorrow, and I had either had the outfits that I wanted to wear for the photo shoot or I had borrowed them from friend.
How many looks are you doing?
Shout out Brooke. We're doing
Shout out Brooke.
4. We're doing 4 looks, but 2 of them are just white shirt looks.
The hot look in my white shirt.
Yeah,
and
and
undies.
both of the white shirts that I asked from you today.
Oh shit.
And so I'm not. I haven't. I've been able to use my resources to not really need to use money to invest in this photo shoot, which I'm excited about. That gets me excited. It's true collaboration. Everyone's bringing stuff to the table.
Super
working
cool.
with a photographer and makeup artist, and
Passion.
I ran out of contacts. I wanted to get contacts for this photo shoot tomorrow because sometimes when I don't wear contacts, I find it hard to focus, and then my eyes kind of cross a little bit right now. So it's just better with contacts in.
Yes, you are looking very nice. You're very nice. Uncross your eyes. Uncross your eyes. I'm trying.
And it was so nice.
Trying.
So I left, and it was so nice out, and I biked up to the place where I get my contacts, and I even got off my bike, and I text Ev, and I was like, you should get outside because it's really fresh and nice,
so nice.
And it's good for our souls to get outside in the wintertime, and we have a hard time doing that.
Yes.
And so I was feeling good, went into the place. They don't sell them anymore for what I was used to getting. Buying in 30s, they sell them in 90s. It was going to be a way larger monetary investment than I was planning on in my head. So I was like, oh, you know what? It's I'm not going to do that right now because you can still order the 30s online. I just won't have it for the photo shoot tomorrow. No big deal. It's going to be fine. I'll find my focus. Ev's coming with me, so he'll help my lazy eye.
Over here. Over here. Over here.
And And then I just kept having the best time. I saw someone from my yoga studio who I buy weed from, Chris from Value Buds, on the street. And I was like, what's going on? It's so nice out. And then I went to Value Buds and they actually didn't have any of the shit that I wanted. I didn't even tell you that. And I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, I'm not getting my contacts. I'm not getting my weed. Like, I was trying to find a lollipop. I couldn't find a lollipop. So
yes, we stopped by Value Buds.
So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Dope guy works there that goes to my yoga studio, Chris. He's a great guy.
Keep it moving. Yeah.
Dude.
Love it. So the magic story.
And then I just kept walking, having a great time, feeling like fresh on my face and a type of renewal that I haven't actually felt this year really yet. It's been a little bit emotionally taxing. And then all of a sudden, this optical store just like pops right into my vision. And it's called Optical 38.
11.
And I walk in and someone really lovely greets me. And I'm like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And she's like, yeah, no problem. Doesn't end up having anything in stock right away for me to pay for, but can give me my prescription like five sets of lenses as like a sample. What?
Blessings.
I'd never seen these people before. Like, I've never even
Gratitude,
seen that.
universe,
Like Optical
that
38.
happened. That
And I
happened.
didn't see the Optical 38 until she was like bringing the lenses to me. And then I looked up and it was like Optical 38 because I wanted to remember their name so I could go back and like spend money there. And then I just chuckled to
That's
myself,
magic.
like 11. Oh man, that's so beautiful. And it just happened so effortlessly. I wasn't sad about not having contacts for tomorrow.
You accepted
I
it.
accepted it and it was going to be totally fine. I knew everything was going to work out. And then I was gifted 5 pairs of lenses, which is just like out of control. It's like the universe, like we need to let go so much more than we are. We need to let go so much that
Let go.
like what is right in front of us is truly enough. And that's challenging sometimes. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that the weather didn't have a whole lot to do with how I felt today. It was fresh and sunny and
Sun.
I felt alive and like I loved being outside. And so, yeah, I fully probably let the circumstance affect me. So it's not like I'm over here just
In
like,
a good way.
you know, in a good way for sure. But even that, like that attachment to that, that's the
It's
reason why I
conditional.
have sad.
It's conditional living.
Yeah.
Great story. Great story.
Yeah, I love, like, please don't chalk those up to coincidences in your life because you're like, oh, like,
That's blessing.
you're still not a millionaire. Like, you're still not a giant shift, just
Well,
like some
it
free
has to be
lenses.
good
But,
enough.
like,
it has
that.
to be good enough to enjoy it in gratitude. It's special.
And you can just see, though, you can just see how everything works out when you give it up and have a good time.
Praise due to the Most High.
And it's just like that can't happen all the time. I wish it could.
Yes, it can.
No, it can't because
Yes,
we
it
need
can.
contrast to learn. Absolutely no. We need the bad stuff to know the good stuff. So there will always still be those moments in your life, but like you can remember in those moments by practicing right now, you can remember that like there is actually light at the end of the tunnel. Like this, what you're going through right now isn't forever. And even though it's still going to hurt while you're going through it, you like hold that knowing that it gets better because
true.
it absolutely does. And then it gets worse again and then it gets better. We're on this life journey and it's not like good or bad. It just is what it is.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
the more
And the more that you trust in that,
yeah, and accept it as it's happening.
you can create
A type of flow.
and which feels nicer.
Yeah, it does.
So the thing is that you've accepted this like sweet little miracle that came into your experience, and now that causes more momentum for magic energy like that to happen. That's the beautiful quantum concoction. That's the formula. There's there's sayings in the Bibles and such that's like, he who has will be given more, and he who has not will be, even the anything they do have of like the nothing
Will be taken
away. And it's essentially like your feeling state causes more momentum. So if you take a sweet little notion like sample packs of lenses, like that is incredible. That's fucking like free glasses. That's like you can see, like that's a miracle.
Yeah, it's so dope.
Like
it's crazy.
That's next level. But like how it happened, how you were listening to the natural flow of the experience, you weren't trying to control. You didn't let it throw your mood. You know, you didn't get disappointed. You stayed fun. What was it? I was watching something just last night. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't want you to lose your thought.
Yeah, I'll just finish this. The guy's stranded in like a sinking town, like Louisiana, when they're all stuck on the rooftop. He's like praying to God, and he's like, okay, he has full faith. He's like, all right, God's gonna come save me. Then all of a sudden, a guy in a rowboat comes by, and he's like, get in, we'll go to safety. And he's like, nah, I'm okay, God got me. God's gonna save me. And then he leaves. And then like an hour later, a guy with a motorboat comes by, like get in. He's like, I'm good, you keep going, go get someone else. I'm praying to God, God's gonna take me. God's gonna save me. And then like an hour after that, a helicopter comes and drops a ladder, and he's like, come on, let's go to safety. And he's like, no, I'm praying to God, I'm good, God's gonna get me. So obviously this guy dies, because you can only say no to blessed so many times. And he goes up to heaven, he's talking to God, and he's like, God, I put all my faith in you. Like, what are you doing? Like, you didn't save me, I'm dead, I'm here. And God's like, I sent you a paddle boat, I sent you a motorboat, I sent you a helicopter. What do you want from me? Like, it's like, you have to take the beautiful, like, fit the symbols of like your whatever you need. It's like, that's like the metaphor of your, you know, the manifestation, however people want to say it. It could feel like salvation, it could feel like whatever you need it to be in whatever moment, and you just like you went towards something. There is a disappointment. It's like a story, you know. It's like there's a peak and a valley, and you're in the valley, and you managed to like not act like it. You acted like you were at a peak, like when you were in the valley. So then all of a sudden you got back to a peak quicker. You accepted the blessing, and you just enjoyed your way there. So well done.
Yeah, and
that just doesn't just happen.
That's a good segue to actually what I was going to say before, which was, I think it was so easy for me to let this go, right? Like, I want to make that a point, because it was just contacts. Like, if I was going to, and maybe 5 years ago, I would have like fixated more on it, and I would have been more tense about trying to find these contacts, for sure. But I do have things where it's not just contacts, you know what I mean? So getting to that place of feeling fully present and in the moment, enjoying what's right in front of me, when I'm feeling some type of lack, that I don't have something in my life that means a lot to me, that it's harder to, you know, to allow those things to come to you so easily. So you gotta, but this is good tracking to be like, okay, I am allowing some things to come to me.
You're allowing so much to come to you. I mean, for instance, you got pummeled last night.
Should we call this episode Pummeled Last Night?
Yes. Fuck, guys. Okay, check this out. Lots has been happening since you snipped together that little thing of all the medicine. One day we're going to do a collage of all the times like a brilliant person just said like it's medicine.
Cannabis is a gift from Mother Earth.
Cannabis helped to heal me. Those natural medicines that we use to help to heal us. And of course, they have this euphoric effect, or can.
It's an alternate natural way of healing. And I just think it's so beneficial, and there's so many good properties to weed.
I mean, that's the only difference in my life is I've added cannabis. The amount I've changed and the way our family has evolved and our relationships with my adult sons and everything, like just all through cannabis it's been amazing.
It's part of my life. Like you said, you really can't separate me and the cannabis plant. I use it medically.
Yes.
I have fibromyalgia, diagnosed with fibro very, very young, and I use cannabis to treat my fibro very effectively.
It was through an event that caused her major anxiety that I got her to take a few puffs.
Yeah.
And it helped.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, from being up here to being able to cope.
You know, we've got naturopathic medicine and natural health products that rely on hundreds of years of traditional use.
Yes.
Which, you know, both cannabis and mushrooms technically fall under.
Yes.
If you can keep it at that sweet spot and it's in a healthy way, I feel like that's
it's medicine.
Yeah, I think
it's medicine.
You have to like check in with your life and be like,
medicinal.
It felt like it complemented my personality.
Yeah.
Almost.
Good answer.
It's okay to use cannabis as their medicine. They no longer deserve to be in classrooms and hear that they're using drugs and they're bad, when this is medicine that is saving their lives.
Yes.
I mean, I would never put anything on the market that I wouldn't give to my mom or my grandfather.
Those strains are fantastic for pain management, nausea. This helps with pain management.
And I feel fantastic. Like I feel great. Do I attribute it to cannabis and cannabis oil? Absolutely, I do.
Relationship to cannabis right now is beautiful, growing, most probably everlasting.
I think this is medicine.
Dude.
120%.
I've got ADD, and I'd use cannabis to help kind of focus me in and kind of turn things off. Like, it very much is medicine.
It was medicinal for me. It was like taking a medicine because that's how it worked.
What?
I know.
What?
I know.
What?
I know.
Thank you guys for sharing that, and thank you culture and industry for reacting.
Thank you for giving me so much praise.
You're welcome. I mean,
you've really been affirming my work,
participation in this.
Yeah, in discipline.
I had to convince my partner for a year that I could keep it going before she even. Winnie's participation is like her grandfather's will to her dad that says, you can't have all this money unless you don't need it. So she started this by saying, I'll do this podcast with you as a host. That's it. I'm not going to produce. Don't ask me for shit. Don't tag me on social media at first.
At least I was honest.
I appreciate that. That's the only way to be. And I took the fucking deal. I took the deal to bring Winnie Clark to you guys so it wasn't just a rapper talking about weed. Because that's obvious.
We should renegotiate the terms.
Well, apparently you're a co-founder. I called myself the founder the other day because of this, and she's like, me too. And I'm like, all right, you were a little bit an employee for the first year, but that's fine. Sure, you can be co-founder.
Came up with the name.
I don't remember that for the record. I just agreed.
That's so crazy that you think a second that you came up with this name.
Disciplined stoners, I feel like I've always just been that. But now it's come too far. I can't honestly remember.
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember because I smoke way too much weed. Tell me how you thought of the name then.
We thought about a podcast, and we had been having these cool, thoughtful conversations. And I had been trying to figure out a way that I could beat the stigma through this podcast. So
hold on. It was your priority to beat the stigma?
Yeah, because we started it in the pandy, or maybe.
But this has been my shit. I had this idea. Remember when I was hanging out with Canna Chris time back? I wanted to do something in and around this space. I tried to sell it to Puff Digital.
You were gonna
I've been fucking with an on location. I sold a couple series to creative agencies that were focused on cannabis content, early legalization, pre-legalization.
Founder of this podcast.
I am the founder. You are the co-founder.
That's fine, but I'm co-founder, and that's still founder.
Tell me how you thought of the name, because I feel like we must have come up with it together. I honestly can't remember.
We'll go back into early episodes to talk about
Tell me, though. Tell me how you thought of it, because I can't remember.
I wanted to get rid of the stigma, and I got a job in cannabis,
it was the shooting
Yes.
The stigma. So we had that intention with the name the whole time. So anyway, well, regardless, I love it.
I know.
Regardless, I love it, and I carry this bitch on my back for a long time, and I do praise you now because you're in this bitch with me. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to call titles to belittle anyone.
You don't need to
You're
be
killing
the
it.
victim of this podcast.
I'm not a victim. I love this. I've only won from this podcast. I've only learned and gotten better. And we've gotten like gifted things to make it cooler. I'm looking around and I'm seeing like stands and lights and like this did not fucking start like this.
Blessed.
Yeah, like that stand from the gift card my mom gave us.
Yeah, and like
lights Matthew Santoro.
We took the video down for all of this shitty video, but like it was really bad. This podcast was bad. If you're watching
in
this,
the beginning episodes,
oh boy,
just the audio. No, just the audio. Like up to like when we had like Humble as a guest say.
Yeah.
Like when they were just and like even Brigitte.
Yeah.
Even Brigitte. It was only the Zoom ones that we had video for, like Tyler and Spandy.
Right.
But like our local ones, like before video, are banging.
Yeah.
And then we fucked up by doing video without this good audio.
Yeah.
So we had to take all those down.
It
and
was
like
crusty.
Yeah, it was crusty. We probably lost a lot of like people in the beginning that were like kind of expecting maybe closer to this production or even better. It's always getting better. Shout out some of my friends who have like crazy good podcasts and the quality's so good. The Money Buys Happiness podcast with Anthony or Ernesto. They're fucking, that looks so good. They shoot in their office. Yeah, Neighborhood Creative.
Wow.
Shout out to you guys doing real good things. So many of my friends from like Toronto culture, entertainment industry were on that thing.
Yeah.
Who else? Like how?
This is evolution, baby.
Yeah, I love watching it grow. I love the reflection of watching it grow. It's been really fun.
And this idea that you need to hold on it to things before perfection, you just talked about it today in that course that you were writing.
Oh yeah, I'm a mentor in this music collective in LA, and I chose to do artist development via oneself as my category, because some people are doing like production, management, whatever. And I mean, I know you have to know all those facets. You have to be fluent in industry talk, but and then creative talk too, production talk. But yeah, I realized that I had some good, like some 5 key tools to like navigating. So I wrote this cool
little Bible.
It's I don't know, it's a blog, you know? It's like 5 points. It's a couple pages about like how to navigate and build yourself as an artist using kind of self-awareness. And Winnie helped me edit it a bit. But yeah, what was in that exactly that we were talking about originally?
Put out your shit before it's ready.
Put it out.
God,
just
you need to, because
fucking
you're never
put it
gonna
out.
get
It's
better.
never good enough. And the top sentence that I put in this thing that I wrote was, that song's not gonna get better. You are gonna get better.
Yeah.
So you gotta let that song go. You gotta drop that fucking painting, drop that piece, drop that video, drop that whatever. Drop that shit. And then you'll make another one. You'll get better. But that thing was made from a source that wasn't even as educated and eloquent as you are right now, because the process of making that thing tightened up some bolts in your vision. So you're winning if you just start again fresh, because you know more than where the root of that thing came from. Just kick that bitch out the door. Boom, next one. Don't be embarrassed. No one's gonna judge you. You're fucking dropping shit. That's respectable.
I mean, some people might judge you, but like you can't let that stop you. Like there's a moment, even in my comedy, it's like some stuff that I say, I'm like, oh, cringe, like, hey, like that just wasn't my best work, right? But ultimately, you need to try it in order to either kill it, or keep it going. And we're just babies when we first start anything. And you can be a 50-year-old person and start something new, and you're a sweet little baby at it.
You sweet little baby?
be bad for a little while. I feel like our capacity for failure gets less as we get older, because we're like, no, I'm ready to be comfortable now for a little while, you know, like I would really rather not have this expansive feeling in my body all the time. But it's that, you know, shifting of perspective where it's like nervous and excitement are on the same stick. They're just on opposite ends. So you can shift how you feel with like tools, you know, with consistency and practice.
Getting pummeled.
Getting pummeled can feel really, really good.
Okay, let's talk about something that we were talking about on the
Discipline Stoners.
The gateway drug to mindfulness.
Yeah. And welcome back to the same episode of Discipline Stoners. I'm your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie.
And we
fucked last night.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, are we beating this dead horse?
Yeah, we are, but it's a way. You know, we have to be cringy about it for a little while. You know.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but yeah, Winnie just reminded me of exactly when she started getting yeast infections in her life.
And didn't you say we were going to talk about something though before that?
Yeah, I did. Okay. Shit. Yeah. So remember on the live stream, we were talking about the fine line between like, okay, no judgment, but like giving someone the space to speak and cathartically just, I guess, vent, but then also like enabling them on the other hand to kind of program negativity in the air, like, cause you're feeling that gets to win, that gets the ether, like, nah, that's just not right. And it's like Winnie was sharing some great experiences where she had very like loving healing moments with friends, you know, where they were there to listen for her, and she kind of like asked for that space in a sort of way by like the tone of like, you know, talking like intimately. And also this started because I was like, man, it's kind of fucking cheap. Like, I've been on so many film sets, and no matter how well paid someone is, there's always someone complaining that they're not getting enough. You know, no matter how sunny it is, there's always someone that's going to complain about rain. Or just some shit that's like, damn, like humans really find it as a little bullshit secret code tool to kind of drop the pressure when have social anxiety to connect on something negative. And I'm like, yo, we got to normalize being able to be shiny and bright and happy, because I am, but I stick out way too much. Like, you know, like I dominate by accident. And it's like, there can be many me's. It's not going to stop me from shining. And I've been in a room full of shiny, bright people where it just turns into a fucking love fest. You know, it's so fun. And everyone's in harmony. And everyone's expressing. But I don't know. And I wanted to ask you from a perspective of being like generally the more compassionate one. Not that I'm not compassionate, but you got some divine feminine going on for sure in the way that you I think there's a way you give your time to people sometimes, even at the yoga studio. It's almost detrimental to you. Like you give it over too much.
It's not anymore. I just want to clarify.
Yeah, not anymore.
But
yeah,
like,
okay, but in the past, like you know what I'm referencing, right? Like just in terms of you're probably way too far this way, and I might be too far this way, where I'm trying to be like almost too positive all the time, but.
Well, and
I'll
give the folks an example. When I was at yoga teacher training and I was having a bit of a hard time, you know, like 4 weeks in, 4 or 5 weeks in, really. And I like threw myself into helping other people with their like own studies of the training and what we needed to learn. We had a dialogue to learn, so there was like a lot of memorization involved, which is a tricky skill if you have not been like practicing it. So like I really threw myself into like just trying to fix other people instead of like looking at my own problems and like uncovering, layers within me that maybe hadn't been nurtured in a really long time.
So is that why you think people do that? People lower the vibration to nurture others, or people are being kind of altruistic, or what's going on there?
I think it is a safety mechanism to not deal with your own shit. And I think often what you're talking about, and I just wanted to say that was a detriment to me because I didn't give myself any time and space to deal with my own shit because I was helping to deal with other people's shit. So that's what I wanted to say about that, why it was detrimental, and how I've created boundaries now. And I definitely am quite selfish in how I deal with myself before anyone else. And I think, this sort of negative talk, it honestly just comes because look all around. Look all around.
And all the blessings and all the amazing things that people can be grateful for? What do you mean, look around?
The amount of news we have access to, the amount of devastation we have access to now, and it's stimulating. Don't try and tell me it's not stimulating. It gets people going. So, there is absolutely an aspect of us being 100% just addicted. And then, if we consider addiction a disease, which I certainly do, then there has to be a certain amount of you that's willing to understand what this person is actually needing right now when they're talking shit. When they're talking all the bad stuff. They need love and time, and they need a stress-free weekend, and they need support, and they need all of these things that they don't think they get. So they're continue to create things that might help them get those things.
But you're in a cycle.
It's absolutely a cycle, but that's what addiction is, right? So it's not your job to fix those people.
I know. I'm just saying, but it's. I just want to draw awareness to the cycle of it because it consumes you and drains your energy. You have to take responsibility for how you're feeling about yourself and in your life, and understand that your relativity to others is only a statement in your own inadequacies. And when we comment, there's this really great quote that I love that I try and live by when I'm talking in public, especially in groups, at parties, whatever, dinners. Average minds talk of people, good minds talk of events, great minds talk of ideas and concepts. So just an average mind is just super, seems like an insult to me. It's there's more potential here. Okay, so then what's the next step? So you think about, and I want to talk about that bitch Karen, and she's doing all these things wrong and blah blah, and this is why I don't like them. So you can justify me, and I can feel heard, and you can see I'm right. Okay, the ego's talking about that other person. We all want to do this sometimes because we have feelings about situations, and we think that they mean that the projection of that person in our head is exactly as that person is, and we want to convince others of that so we don't feel like we're perceiving the situation incorrectly. So once we get that validation, once you feel quenched, you can try to raise your vibration to events. What happened? Now, this is where negativity often takes over because it almost seems commonplace now since everyone's plugged their fucking dumbass into the news. It's the negative events that make circulation. And I'm not saying you have to go like the crazy positive events, but what about the events, literal events, like a place you just went, something you just experienced, something in your own experience that you can speak to directly? Because when it's outside of self and the events is like reported events, this is reported events. This is no way you're going to get some accurate information. So he say, she say, and it leaves you with insecurity because you have uncertainty because you don't actually know. If you can shift the focus to a positive event, that's the best. But if not all the way there, just a recent event. And it can be neutral, and that's fine. Look, this is the own guidance that I think of for myself. And then the best idea is the ideas. The great minds, when I end up at the table with the bosses, with the CEOs, with the influence and the tastemakers, this is what's discussed: ideas, concepts, and it's more objective, and it's less literal, and it's less detail oriented and more conceptual, big thinking, and it allows for great collaboration and allows for more openness, two-way connection, because there's more relative reference points in a larger idea. So it's literally the distinction of communicating something that someone can contribute to or not. Like it's not like I'm saying I'm mightier than thou because I have such a great mind. It's like the most contribution that you can offer to your surroundings that boosts the vibration of the situation is to aim higher with your focus and create a dialogue that's more conceptual based, and then move from there together as a group. It's beautiful.
Do you agree that planet Earth needs
balance?
Average,
every time I have
great minds?
Every time I make a good point, when he's like, yeah, but people have to suck too, and I'm like, exactly.
I know. Well, I just think that's so interesting. I really do. Like, I think that
I'm just like, my job for me is betterment. And, at a certain point, it's like, is this podcast just my platform to be a martyr? It's like, no, I'm basically trying to document these kind of like gems that have helped me.
Well, for sure. And it's good understanding.
I'm not trying to preach, because it's basically just a ladder, and we are all at it at different points. I'm at the lower one lots.
I know.
I come home like, we need this shit, motherfucker.
You're not getting pummeled tonight.
Who?
That's what you say.
I don't say that often.
No, that's very rare. I can only think of one time that happened.
That I said you're not getting pummeled?
Mm-hmm.
Be kind.
Yeah.
When was that?
A couple years ago when I was acting crazy.
I had to put the D on ice. Dice. I had to roll the dice. Nice. Well, fuck yeah. You're so compassionate then, Win.
Well, it's not even that I'm compassionate right now, actually. It's that, like, I feel like I have this obsessive curiosity about blueprints of, like, characters on Earth. Like, we're
all playing a great role.
Yeah, like, we're all just in this together.
No scorning.
So it's exactly, but that's really intense when you take, some perceivably bad people and you're like, well, you got to scorn those people.
No, punishing is not accurate as far as divine natural law. It's not accurate. People are in harmony. They're in their own orbit. They will attract the circumstances back to themselves that they project on others, because we're all the same consciousness, so the reflection eventually comes back to them. But like, yeah, like all that shit about punishment and stuff, that's man-made nonsense, because it's so subjective, and we don't know what arm of the universe they were acting at. It's very bizarre, and it's not a cop-out that people shouldn't take responsibility, but that's quite literally their journey. Do you need to keep some dangerous people away from the general population because they are of danger? Yes, I don't know how to manage that. That's literally a mental health issue. I grew up with some guys that just loved to fight. They just loved it, like more ready to fight than your average person. Like, just like so down. Every time they left the house, they were in a fist fight. And like there was like kids at the mall from different neighborhoods who were like the best fighters. And it was like, and in my position, it was like, how many top fighters can I make friends with? But like, yeah, like there's definitely, and like what I'm saying is like their home life was not good. Like they have some trauma they need to heal. Some kids, I can think of one kid, his home life was quite all right. I think his dad was rough with him though, him and his brother. But it wasn't like the other like broken homes of like alcoholic abuse or whatever. It was just like a little more strict. But he just liked to fight. Some people just like to fight. But, you know, unless they can channel that in an intelligent way, there's nothing wrong with fighting UFC, even hockey enforcers, aggressive jobs like football players, or even security guards. There's always a place for any type of expression. But, like, there is a general agreement that we're not going to do violence anymore. Like, that's kind of a general agreement, wouldn't you say? Like, in society, like, it's never okay to go punch someone in the face. It's not. I mean, you want to, but it's not okay.
I would say it's like an 80-20 consensus.
Like, those who want to fight will find each other, right? And that's the 20%.
And, like, there's literally still war going on in our world, so... What
the fuck?
So
Let's
outdated.
talk about what the fuck. See, I don't want to connect on the negative shit. But, like, for real, that seems like a super outdated thing for us to be doing right now as human beings on Earth. Like, can we not focus on harmony? Like, is there not enough great art in the world? Like, we're all trying to make more art then.
Recently, Abraham said, not recently, they said this a long time ago, because I just listened to their YouTube clips and the playback, and sometimes it goes all the way back to like 91. So I don't know when they said it. But something that they did say was someone was talking about how their mom, so they were probably in their 40s, their mom was probably in like 60s, 70s, that their mom was always talking about how this is the planet's like worst time that it's ever had.
No, it's the best.
And Abraham didn't say no, they said yes, and it's also the best time. So they were very like, they kind of, to me, made it clear in that moment that the better, in some ways, we progress, we will digress in other ways. Like, there's a polarity, a balance going on. So, like,
there's several timelines, that's for sure.
Yeah. So we do get to choose on which we focus, and perhaps both are happening simultaneously. And it's not that, like, they or we even are asking you to be ignorant to anything that's going on with the world, because people use that for planning and all sorts of things. But
yeah, I guess it's like you can't just stick your head in the sand.
But I remember one time, I can't remember what we were talking about, but we were with a group of people, and I'm not going to mention who they are, but someone had brought up something that was like really heavy. It was like something had happened. I don't remember what the news was, but we spoke about it a little bit, and we talked, and you were there, and we talked about what we knew about the situation, and then we were left feeling when there was no solution to be had in that moment. The air was sucked out of that room. It was the most sad, intense, awkward.
Who was this?
I'll tell you afterwards, but there's
tell me now so I know who you're talking about.
No, I don't want to tell you on here.
Well, just so I can know what you're talking about.
Well, it doesn't matter. You understand, like, if you need to know, I haven't done a good job explaining it.
Yeah.
Well, so, like, it was just this really, like, we don't need to be, it doesn't need to come up all the time. Like, we can have sections you can choose. If you're like, no, news means a lot to me, like, no hate, go get that. But, like,
you got a little bit of smoke from me if news means a lot to you.
Create some boundaries around it. The same boundaries that you'd create around social media and, like, you know, all of these things that we kind of have to find some balance for.
Like the same boundaries that you, like, that for you, here's a good example. For you to understand what type of healthy boundary you should put around the news is treat the news the same way that you treat eating raw pork. And that'd be a good...
Cook it before you eat it?
Cook the news. Set your TV on fire. That's the best way. That's the best guideline for you to digest the news. Is also, to do it as frequently as you eat raw pork.
Dude,
And when you do watch the news, make sure you also eat raw pork.
Yo, can I say something? When I was in California for school... I started watching KTLA.
Today, children
Let me
die.
say something. When I was in California for school, I started watching KTLA because I came from, my parents watched the news. I came from a household that watched news.
Berta.
I thought that's what you should be doing if you were an adult.
Berta.
And it was horrific. First of all, KTLA.
American news is like intense too.
It's intense. And
there's more pharmaceutical ads.
Yeah, it's not news.
Yeah,
so
it's
also
programming.
like where are you getting your information from?
This is your source?
I mean, we could say that about a lot of things that you
you can say that about us. Choose your poison. Pick your poison, baby. You're vibing out with us. We're fucking I'm a truth seeker. Winnie's a little bit more of a complier, but she's getting down.
I'm getting down. I'm getting dirty. I'm getting pummeled.
You are actually you are coming into this confidence, and you're doing it steady and slow, just like a taurine does. They tiptoe into the pool, and that's very admirable to have the courage to go through it like that and understand everything as you're walking into it. And yeah, it's nice to see. Congratulations on your advancements.
Thank you. I remember having a little bit of this when I was in Second City. What
happened?
I don't know. A secondary light went off.
Oh, that went off.
Oh, yeah. And I started getting better at improv, and I remember how that reflected pretty on my confidence level,
Oh, yeah.
And so the same thing is kind of happening with stand-up right now.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
It just builds resilience because stand-up has been so fun for me, but I'm not funny yet. I'm funny, but I'm not funny yet, you know?
You're a funny person, you're a funny actor, you're not quite yet a funny comedian.
Yeah.
Like Louis C.K., even though you hate him for jerking off in front of people, he stands there and says things, you're laughing. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking funny. Shit.
Yeah, to get to that, it's called undeniable.
Yeah. So, but you comedy, you get resilient quick in comedy or you won't last.
Facts.
It's just that. And if you do last, you have some weird, hurt myself pain. Yeah. I see a couple of those people on the market,
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah.
They're definitely out there.
Which is probably doing something for you in some way anyway, so that's fine.
Oh, 1,000%.
1,000%. So, yeah, I just feel like nothing's so as serious anymore since I've started comedy.
Yeah,
and
life's
that's why
good.
Comedians push boundaries, man.
That's what we're here to do. Fuck off and let us play, bitch.
Yeah, it gets to. I riffed a little bit for the first time on stage, and if you look it back, it's on my Instagram. I felt it as it was happening, but I couldn't get the words out, and I was trying to make fun of someone on stage because it was funny and it came to my head, so I decided to go for it. But if you see me in that video, my hand is shaking uncontrollably because it's the first time that I'm actually pulling off some type of audience performer interaction semi-well.
Partaking in.
So you're like, oh fuck, I pulled that off. What else can I do?
Fuck yeah.
And I think all comedians probably feel that. What if I do this? What will happen then? It's pretty cool feeling inside your body.
It is.
It's electric.
It is fucking electric. It unleashes a kundalini energy or something upside of your chest and into your mind and everything. It's whole body encapsulating.
I did a kundalini practice this weekend for the full moon. Ooh. There was a full moon on Sunday this past
I've just
week.
been fucking beaming. Keep going. Because I remember I wanted to do this with you, but I fucking worked through that.
I've never done, I know, you joined in on some of the breath work.
I did, it felt good.
I've never done kundalini before. Put in the comments if you've done kundalini yoga before. I'm surprised it's taken me this long. It's very rooted in breath and short movements, and it can get pretty intense for sure. And the better you are at it, and the more you train your lung capacity and stuff, I'm sure it can get even more tense. But yeah, that was
nice, eh?
Well, afterwards I got pummeled, so
yeah,
you're
ready to go.
Opened up some type of kundalini. I think is a little bit misunderstood, but kundalini energy apparently is the serpent that comes up from the base, and I believe it's like it has been shown as being sort of sexual in nature.
Yeah.
Or not sexual, like
it is from the lower chakras and is very sacral and sensual, and it does help with sexuality, but it also is just life force energy, and also
ecstasy is the word I wanted to use.
Yeah, it is like ecstasy.
Yeah.
And basically there's like this fluid that you can, through this breath, actually you can, remember how I said the Bible is like a guide? It's actually that, like the coming of Christ is when this fluid, your spinal fluid, is brought up through your spine from your sacral chakra. You ground yourself down and then do breathing, and it makes its way up your spine through your central nervous system, I guess here, into your pineal gland. And that's like an explosive, like essentially your third eye opening or some sort of awakening. That's the story of reaching Christ consciousness. Like, and yeah, there's some deep cuts and kundalini, and look, there's a snake around this Her Highness, and it's very feminine.
It's interesting that it stops. I mean, that's the organ
it probably goes all through. I'm just talking about that liquid that goes up your spine, that goes in there. But no, that whole energy is like all in through the center of your being. It's like your Merkaba must just experience great alignment and expansion.
Yeah. It was about a 90-minute class, but you'd definitely be able to do it in 60 because he did a lot of talking in between exercises, although you do want a break, like enough time to rest between and restore. But it was really good. I'm definitely interested in learning more about it.
There was all women in that guru's class.
Oh.
Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice that. That's an interesting observation.
Yeah, I'm like, why aren't more men involved in this? Because always, like, I look at, like, Paul at Be Hot Yoga, too. It's like Charlie's Angels. Like, you know, it's like
we have a couple fellas teaching at the studio now.
Well, that's cool. And, like, Darren is, like, his close friend. I mean, I don't think that, like, that's on purpose. I just think it's a lucky accident, happy accident, that's, like, this is just paid more interest to by women. Like this idea, like he probably just put out like an open casting call for like who wants to do this, and like all women show up. Like, what are you gonna do?
If you look at the sizes of the change rooms in Be Hot,
in the yoga studio,
is significantly smaller, and that's because that studio opened up 18 years ago when there definitely wouldn't be a man in a yoga class, or if there was, it was quite rare.
It was probably like empty most times.
Yeah,
that room. I remember being at that studio when there was less men.
Yeah, I honestly think it's like 60-40 now.
Yeah, it's a lot of dudes.
Yeah. We're fucking. It's great. Like so many.
How many dudes get boners in class?
Rarely happened in my 11 years now of teaching, or almost 11 years.
It's almost happened to me before. I had to turn over.
I've never seen like a fully hard, just half chubs.
You've seen some half chubs?
I've seen some half chubs, but probably less than 10 in my whole.
But like 10.
Probably about
10 dicks.
Probably about 5. Like one shows up once every 2 years, and I'm like, huh.
Out the shorts?
Well, no, the shorts can be very tight. I've seen a lot of dicks. So if we're just talking flaccid dicks. They fling all over the place. That's why if you're going to a yoga class, it's best to get those shorts that have the pre-built underwear into it.
Yeah, or I just wear tight shorts.
Or wear tight shorts. Yeah, exactly.
Because my nuts are hanging
if you have the tight shorts and you do get a half chub, it's pretty noticeable.
Yeah.
But like no judgment. Anytime I see a dick, I'm like, oh, there's another one of those. Like I'm never like. Oh, disgusting, or like trying to peek at it or anything weird like that.
Nah,
it's just
that's kind of like a sacred space.
Yeah.
Like I think like naked yoga would be dope. Like, you know?
Well, it would be dope, but there's there's always someone that's going to ruin it.
It would get weird, yeah. Yeah, but like it should, like you should go into yoga with the same level of like open sacred trust that you treat like a ceremony of sorts. Like, I've always looked at it like that. Maybe
check this out.
What?
Okay, what if I built a nude yoga studio?
And we smoke weed.
He hopped on it so quick.
Sorry.
I want to hear your ideas, but just let me tell you.
No,
So, yoga studio, membership only. You have to be interviewed to join.
That's right.
And then for the first 4 months, you actually still have to be around. So you get to know the community, and you have to be in the clothed classes only. So you got to commit to this shit. If you want to go nude, you're going to have to commit to like 4 months of like not nude in order to get to the nude.
I love that, because then you are instilling a philosophy, and that philosophy is like respect, like sacred brothers and sisters, like, but this is about freedom and like the body's natural kind of want to express and be top level free, like with others in movement.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there'd be essentially 2 sections of the studio space. So then you could have a not nude space for everyone else still.
And people will be like, that's that nude yoga studio.
Yeah, and we would be like, yeah, and then people fucking love it.
Did we do nude yoga on the beach?
Yes.
In Jamaica, right?
Yeah, it was so beautiful.
It felt extra good. It felt extra good. Honestly, when I did like Sun Warrior or whatever, and like my nuts just hanged, like that was nice. Like it's better than having them like sucked up into your body with like sweaty nylon pants.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not complaining. It's great to do it regardless anyway, but like open and free, especially actually outside, was so nice. Yeah. There's nothing like a breeze on your balls.
And there'd have to be rules. There's a membership with rules. Like, it wouldn't be sexual. That's awesome too. There's a time and a place for sexual yoga for sure.
Yeah.
For the one that I'm creating in this ideas conversation that we're having right now.
Great minds. Oh, I love that. See, that's how fucking ideas are hatched and businesses happen.
And you know what?
What?
I find that weed really helps me become a lot more limitless in my ideas.
I agree.
And through that, I've created a bigger idea of what I want myself to be in life.
Fuck yeah.
So it's like very cool that I can like expand deeper and move into that. We just watched the Pamela documentary last night.
I love that.
And she fucking was on Broadway last year.
Anything's possible in her 50s. Pamela Anderson in her 50s went to Broadway.
Yeah.
Okay? Anything's possible. And she's
Sorry
fucking
if you
amazing.
that was a total spoiler.
But you know what? Go watch it anyway if you were planning on watching it, because that does not... There's so much more value.
It was really good. We should all watch it. And maybe... I don't know how I feel about watching the series. Seth Rogen's in it, so I originally wanted to watch it. But
that was disappointing. They made no money from the sex tape, and that show with the Pamela and Tommy that ran a huge fucking marketing campaign did not consult them at all, and they did not pay them at all, and like that was pretty brutal. Like to hear about that was kind of disappointing. We don't judge Seth. We love you. We're still gonna have you on the pod, Seth. Don't worry.
He probably did, or maybe he did know. I don't know.
Regardless, there's not much he can do. Seth, you're already on the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Well, I am a disciplined stoner, so...
He is, and he's a great example of starting new things and getting really good at them, like, later in life. Like, you started pottery. Are you fucking kidding me?
We love that. Seth, fuck around and do pottery, bro.
You sell it under your houseplant brand? Like, that's
Thank
fucking...
you. Giving us an original
great.
piece. Like, we're a fan of your comedy, and now also this other thing, we love weed. We definitely are going to score one of those ashtrays when we're in LA.
Yeah, we have a beautiful ashtray right here.
We do. We have a stand-up ashtray from 1950s Lobby
Sexy.
Hotel.
Shout out Brooke and Mike, 1922.
Love you guys. Okay, so I got to talk about this Fuego. This is a Death Bubba Dablicator, and I just put some on the outside of my joint, and it's like adding distillate, and it tastes so good. And increases my high, and just fucking love you. So shout out Fuego. Applicator.
Yeah, it's a great way. I think I told him yesterday that I feel like that this was like ahead of its time a little bit because concentrates are going to become huge. This is such an easy way to put a concentrate in your, like, to infuse a joint.
I don't know if you saw what I did, but I took the cap off and see it's like leaking some. Here, I'll rub that on. So it's like a pen, right? And you twist this down and push, and then it just comes out like a syringe. And it's brilliant. And he brought me this yesterday, and I'm already halfway through it. Because I fucking love it. I love smoking.
All right, just settle down. I didn't know you were halfway through it.
All right, and he told me to take it easy on it, but I like the high so much that I'm like, hey, take it easy. Take it easy.
And it's Death Bubba, and he doesn't get down with Death Bubba in
As a flower. I like Death Rockstar and stuff, but anyway. Hey, Win, what is it like to be with me?
What a narcissistic question.
I know. I mean, like walking down the street. Is it hilarious?
I mean, look, I love you. I'm not looking at other people when we're out to see what they think of you. Like, sometimes I clock other people noticing you for sure, but like, I don't know what you look like out. I think you probably look like a free bird, cool guy, nice guy most of the time. Sometimes maybe a little bit scary or aggressive depending on where someone's perception is. But like I just like you. I like you as a person. I understand like that there's things about you that I don't understand, and I'm okay with that.
What do you mean?
Like,
there's things about you don't understand and you're okay with that. That's so good.
I don't know what Tourette's feels like.
Uh-huh.
So I can't.
You can't judge it.
I really can't, because I don't know.
That's cool.
Maybe you're making it all up, but
that would be fun.
Oh,
I hope so. I would like, what a genius.
You know, there's just some things where I'm like, I can't really understand in order to explain, but like, I'm okay with that. I like you a lot. I think you're cool. I like hanging out with you.
Cool. Thank you.
Like,
I just figured I would ask the most narcissistic possible thing that I could ask, and you're killing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love you so much.
Yeah, you too. It's fun.
So much fun.
Because you're a passive, cute little creature.
But less and less all the time.
Yeah, we're total opposites naturally, and we've pulled each other towards a center.
Thank you.
It's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It's good stuff. It feels good to me. Does it feel good to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's harmonious. It's like resonating with like, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
let's keep going and see what happens.
Exactly. Love you.
Love you.
Disciplined Stoners. Find us here every Friday, 7 p.m. EST. Oh, are we going to make that?
Hit that like button. You know what's so crazy is that I listened to this tarot. I've just gotten into tarot on YouTube so hard. And I listened to this person called Minopan Tarot.
So hard.
Okay. So hard. What?
I dabbed it.
Okay. And I noticed this one of his last videos. He kept saying like funny things like, click the like button if you're like,
if you fuck
to be
with
cool or something. Like,
hey
just
guys,
little things that got my attention, and it
like
took 3 times. It took 3 times, but I clicked it. I clicked the like button.
Can you guys please make sure that you click the like button?
Yeah, just
and comment. It really is great to see what you guys think of parts about this. Put in the comments what you think it's like to be with me.
But careful, you might get pummeled.
Yeah, exactly.
So please comment, like, subscribe. Let us know if you want us to talk about a certain topic. We're always down for that. That'd be fun and cool.
And we're going to do some roundtables, too. We really like the idea of doing on locations. And we love to talk to the CEOs, the growers, the creators for sure. But also, we really got a cool response from having Dustin the Bud Tender at Sticky Nugs on and offering those insights. So we're going to bring on a couple more industry people who have even worked for different companies. And we might do some on locations in our travels, too.
We absolutely are. It's not a might. It's an absolute.
We're going to do that. Maybe, yeah. Anyway, good stuff coming, good stuff flowing. And what do you got for us?
It's time for a fun fact.
Dum boom, dum bum fun, dum dum bum fun, dum boom, bum fun. Winning with the fun fact.
The hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth was 2 billion degrees Kelvin.
2 billion degrees!
To give you a sense of how hot that is, the interior of our sun is only about 15 million degrees Kelvin. Researchers at the Sandia National Laboratories produced the record-breaking temperature in their lab using a superheated gas equal to about 3.6 billion degrees Fahrenheit, which is significantly warmer than any temperature your oven could ever reach. Crazy. Wow. They made it 3.6 billion degrees Fahrenheit on Earth. This is what I'm saying. This is all hilarious what we're doing.
Do we have millions of dollars of research money?
Insane.
What do you want to do? Make it very hot. Why? Because it should be made hot.
Just to see.
Why?
Just to
because
see
science.
Yeah, it
Dude.
probably has something to do with blowing shit up, but I just find it, like so wild. Like,
Do you think science will ever go back to science and not science with a dollar sign?
I think there's science happening without a dollar sign on it today, but
Is there independent science?
yeah, I think people do.
Because I get it. How the
science, yeah.
fuck are you going to get funding? Just like if you get signed to a label, you got to give them one fucking pop. Like, even Yellow Wolf gave Shady, like, a pop album in his own idea of, like, what that looks like. So it's like, all right, I'll comply with saying whatever you want for this study so this company that's paying me can make its money back. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not judging the scientist, but, like, when does that kind of martial law end?
Okay, look at this.
Very unique.
The definition.
No, you spelt science normally. You got to spell science with a dollar sign first.
The definition of science is the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of theories against the evidence obtained. So we're doing science all day, every day.
Yeah, I'm doing science right here, right now.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I'm always testing theories against the evidence obtained. Because I'm like, the theory is the philosophy, and the evidence obtained is our observation of life.
Yeah.
We're doing science here.
We're all doing science
If
all the
I
time.
ever take the well-intended advice from you bitch-ass vanilla haters who have said, hey, Ellevan, you should change the name of your podcast so you can have a bigger reach and, abandon your values to change the stigma. If I ever take your shitty backhanded advice, then I will only change the name of this podcast to We Do Science. Because we do science, and that's science spelled normally.
When anyone throws some science in my face,
I'm fucking scientist.
If anyone comes at me with some science, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, I do science too."
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm a scientist. I spelled it with a dollar sign and nothing came up.
Dollar sign.
Misinformation.
Okay, go grab a book.
Okay, yeah. Go
Let's
grab
get
a
this
book.
party started.
Go grab
Go grab a book right now, so we can end this podcast.
I think I'm gonna read from Humble the Poet's new book and see this cool design on here done by Max Jamalige. This was my idea to put it on the front of the book, and then Jag got a bunch done, gave one to Humble too, so now Humble has one of these, and this is sign for us to Ellevan and Winnie. Thank you for embodying love in all that you do. Ah, that's so nice. A note from the author. Thank you, bro. Cool.
Okay. Give me some
The lion
numbers.
and the puppy. Cute. Okay. Can you please, Winnie Clark of Discipline Stoners, can you please choose a number between 8 and 288?
$135.
Oh, your truth is your gut. Trust it.
I'm learning.
That's your truth is your gut. Trust it. Boom.
Well, that was great.
Go grab that heat. Shout out. And this was the love that's on the back of Lewis House's guess that Humble was on.
Humble was on Lewis House, and
Yeah.
then Lewis wrote something about...
What? No, see this love design?
Yes.
Humble hooked up with the artist.
Yes.
That did the same background that's on the guest side of Lewis House's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that's he knows this artist from LA, and he got him to do the book.
Very cool.
And this is Hay House Publishing, yo.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's my shit, dude.
Wow.
Now the homie is there. I know.
Whoa.
Wayne Dyer is that. Like, I've heard that Hay House Publishing audiobook thing for a long time. So congrats, Humble, on that. That's a fucking tricked out cover.
Great.
Good episode.
So, I want you on Patreon.
Guys, okay, come on.
We're dropping affirmations all the time. Ellevan and I are dropping vlogs on there. We just posted a private video
of I'm so excited about this. Are you gonna say what it's about?
You guys, you are finally going
We're sharing.
to see me get pummeled.
Oh, it's our
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
I had to do it one more time.
Well done. Would you guys
no.
tune in for a live sex stream?
This,
Okay, we're not gonna do that.
We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're like in our 70s maybe.
Yeah. So we
Two empty bean bags flopping around.
We went down memory lane and
we
talked
talked
about
some
when we
shit.
first moved to Toronto, and it was kind of rough
Kind of
actually.
embarrassing
and
if you think about it.
embarrassing, and we blocked some of it out.
But that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to share what it was like, because I was having such gratitude for like outgrowing this space. I was like, what we're at now was a fucking dream, a far cry and a dream. And the freedom that we have now in life is a dream. And like, so just finding gratitude for that, and then just dialing back to like, man, those very, very humble beginnings. Very humble.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's
you
up
can see
there.
us tell the whole fucking story on Patreon.
There's some daily affirmations, so you can check in on there once a day and just ground yourself with an affirmation. You don't have to think about it. We're doing that work for you. There's going to be meditations. There's workouts on there. There's better quality workouts coming soon.
There's a couple workouts here that can get you moving, but we're going to get you some quality soon. Is there a custom meditation too?
Custom.
Or a private meditation?
Private meditation, yeah.
Which we do offer custom meditations and custom affirmations. It's actually on our rate sheet as well.
Yeah, so hook us up if you need it, or hit us up if you need anything.
We'll hook you up if you hit us up if you get us to do it.
And have a blessed Friday night or whenever you're watching this. Thank you for your support. We love you. This is blowing up. So
thank you guys.
Continue to be on this journey with us. And
the messages that you send, thank you so much. We're very happy to be doing this, and we're very happy to be representing cannabis like this and be representing a whole new insight to, living and, self-betterment. I kept landing on, right? Like, we are a mindful podcast at the end of the day, but it lends itself naturally to cannabis so well that we've become involved. So we're happy to be here. And thank you guys for tuning in and watching and sharing. And try to have as much good, safe sex as you can. And if you have to have sex with someone and you got to risk getting a yeast infection, do it anyway. Because you probably need that.
You can still have
at
safe
that time.
sex and get a yeast infection.
Really? How?
It's like the friction.
Oh, it's the friction.
You're interrupting the, like, if I have a bunch of sugar in my system, then you get up all in there.
OMG, does size play a role? Anyway, we don't have time about this.
Probably, but like the pH balance up in there, and that's what the boric acid is, because our vaginas like to be acidic.
Yeah, you have culture. Like, that's a miracle. Like, we have these ding-dongs flopping around out here. You're like, inside of you is like a canal, like a canal, and it's moist. It's not dry.
He's got ding-dongs and I've got a canal.
Fuck, join our Patreon and see what happens now.
You can sign up for $4 a month. And
come on,
what
fucking
that does,
$4, dude.
Yeah,
$4 get more of us.
That
I'll post
if you've been with us forever, that money is part of leveling up this. What you've seen, our growth over the course of 2 years.
We're using a portion for survival and a portion for leveling up.
I mean, we had other means of survival, but we don't have those anymore. So we'd like more people to join our Patreon.
Yeah, Winnie's taking a leap of faith. She's like entrepreneurial now. And it's a good hustle every day.
I love it.
You're grinding it out. It's fun. Yeah.
Okay.
But
thank you.
Hire us for stuff, basically. Join us. No, it feels good. But we're down to clown, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And for anyone listening, we'll also be at Can Expo next month. So
yeah, that'd be cool. A lot of friends will be there.
Yeah.
And we got a couple exciting brand things coming up.
Yeah.
And nice events, but just keep in tune. Keep in tune.
Revealed.
I'm saying just stay tuned on our
Instagram.
Tune. Just be in tune on the Instagram.
Be in tune with yourself.
It's at Disciplined Stoners. Be in tune with yourself ultimately first and most.
Be in tune.
Second, with us. Third, with your mom. Fourth, with your dad. Fifth, with your dog.
That's mom. The mom and dad stuff is big. You're asking
a
lot of people.
Fucking, they don't know them like we do. I'm on one today. This is like,
I know, this was fun. I said that. We said let's go have some fun.
That's what you said.
Because we don't have. Remember when we used to get so high we had to end the podcast? That doesn't happen anymore. That hasn't happened in a really long time.
Yeah, you're a full on, like, you're killing it. You're a day smoker. We're on it.
So we love you and hope that we've been trying. This is how we leave with Ralph too. We try to leave for like 15 minutes before we actually open the door to go, and he just sits there with his butt up and his eyes looking at us like, is it now? Is it now? About 10 minutes in, I'll put on his collar and leash, and he's like, oh, it must be now, and he still has to wait another 5 minutes before we're fucking out of here.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bless you.
Disciplined stoners. What's your discipline? You a stoner? That's cool. So are we.
I'm high a lot. It's weird to finally say that with pride. I'm high a lot. Being high has helped me with my anxiety. It's helped my social skills. Well, it's helped me feel okay about my shitty social skills. It doesn't make my social skills better, but it sure does make sitting in that awkward moment in a social interaction a lot more bearable. You know, that moment where no one in the group has anything left to say, and you desperately want to yell at all of them, just say something. Being high makes that hilarious and not torture.
Yo, it's Ellevan from Anger Town. These plants just helped me chill out. Found focus, found confidence. All of a sudden I was productive, less protective, more progressive. Yeah, we talk about stuff like I'm a next sommelier, but this is about a medicine, baby. We wish everyone a mindful life. It's been a helpful tool for us. Whatever the route to peace, it's each individual's journey. And the more we communicate, maybe we can all help each other out. Love and light. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners Podcast with your host, Ellevan.
And my name is Winnie.
And we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. And that's Ralph.
Ain't nobody high as me, I'm puffin' on my green. Talk to people on the podcast and I'm in the streets, trust me, I'm about to win. Don't get it twisted, I'm lifted.
It was really bad. This podcast was bad. If you're watching
in
this,
the beginning episodes,
oh boy.
I hope you enjoyed that preparation for sleep meditation, exclusively only on our Patreon. Thank you so much for all of your support.
Do you want to get in on this? Head over to our Patreon now, www.patreon.com/disciplined. And you can get on anything you want to get on. So you should do it.
Discipline. Stoners! We get high.
And we do stuff.